Hello. There we go. Okay, I think we're good. Hello, my lovelies. Happy Wednesday. Yes. Oh, gosh, I have no idea what day it is, what time. Well, I know what time it is because every day, 12:15, here I am. But I couldn't tell you what day of the week it is. I know it's a work day. So it's Tuesday. No, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Yeah. How are you doing today? How has your have you kind of gotten over the honeymoon period of this whole quarantine, stay at home? I don't know what they're calling it. I'm calling it a lockdown because that's what it feels like to me. But yeah, I feel like I finally hit the okay, this isn't really fun anymore. For a while it was like, oh, this is new and different and let's see what it's all about. And now it's kind of like, okay, I did this yesterday. Let's do something different. But, it is what it is. And we are, hello, Lee, and we are doing what we need to do. And I know it's the right thing. So I'm happy to be doing it. I just can't wait to go to Target. I don't even need anything at Target. I never need anything at Target. But I just want to go to Target and be out amongst other people and not in gloves and a face mask and all bundled up. So, and it's also supposed to be really nice here today, like in the 80s. And then it's supposed to get into the 40s for the rest of the week and the weekend. So not really excited about that. So I hope to be outside a little bit later today. Anyway, shall we get started? Let's do this. So for those of you that don't know me, I am Crystal Webster. I am founder and chief solace officer of Sharing Solace. I am also the author of the forthcoming book, Confessions of a Griever, Turning a Hot Mess into an Haute Message, Laughable Lessons for When Life Just Sucks. Because sometimes, like right now, it is just kind of sucking. But we're going to get through it. We've survived 100% of the days up to this point. We will survive today as well. So, but more so than Sharing Solace, more so than Confessions of a Griever, I am Madeline's mother, and that is my top priority. And I do things every single day to make her proud of me. Yeah, I love you, Maddie. So today's story that we picked yesterday, based on your votes, is entitled Grief is Not a Problem. So for those of you that don't know the kind of the layout of the book, I call them micro chapters. There's like 50 different small chapters. And at the end of each chapter, you get options and you decide how you want to progress through the book. Do you want to go linearly? Do you want to skip around? You just kind of decide. So that's how we're reading it here. I'm actually reading chapters from the book itself, and I am reading them in the order that you pick. So yesterday you picked Grief is Not a Problem. At the end of, after we read this, you will get 3 options, and you will pick what we read tomorrow over lunch. And we'll just kind of go from there. And I think this is number 17. I think we've done this 17 times. Which is like not even a dent in the book, to be perfectly honest. I feel like we've read a lot, but kind of also looking back on it, I'm like, wow, we haven't read very much at all. So that's both cool and daunting, but it is what it is. So today's story, Grief is Not a Problem, and then we will pick what we're going to read tomorrow. So here we go. Grief is not a problem. Here's the thing. Grief, like life, like love, is not a problem to be solved. When others try to explain it like it is, it makes me think of the song from The Sound of Music. How do you solve a problem like Maria? How do you catch a cloud and pin it down? You don't, that's how. Grief cannot be solved. It has to be felt. It has to be experienced. And it has to be worked through. If grief were a problem, then it would have an answer. And a right answer at that. If there were a cure for grief, Do you think people would still be suffering from it? Heck no. We answered polio, and now no one suffers from that anymore. Plus, people love to solve problems, especially when those problems involve human suffering. And they love to prove they solve the problems by showing others the solution. Scientists and researchers have been fighting each other for years to be the first to solve cancer. And that only affects 39% of Americans. Grief affects 100% of Americans. Ben Franklin said, "In this world, nothing can be certain except death and taxes." I would argue grief is more prolific than just about anything else on the planet based on that quote. You got to assume that if someone were to actually solve grief, that answer would immediately be shouted from the mountaintops. A grief problem makes it sound like it's a pressing matter that needs immediate attention and a finite solution. Again, don't you think if I had that solution, if a finite answer could even be had, I would be bottling that shit up and giving it to anyone that would take it? Because grief is not a problem, we need to quit treating it like it is. Period. The end. Quit trying to hurry up and solve it, hide it, or brush it under the rug. You experience grief like you experience a museum. I don't know about you, but I can only take so much museuming at a time. Yes, even the Met. I like to go and be there among the art, see the pieces and experience the space, and then like that, I'm done. I've had enough high society for a while, and I just want to go back to flip-flops, mullets, and reality TV. You need to allow yourself to do the same with your grief. Befriend it like your crazy sister-in-law. Come on, a little bit goes a long way. Experience it, sit with it, feel your feels, think your thoughts. If you're smart, you might even write some of those down. And then go and take a break. When it's time, because you decided it's time, or the universe tells you it's time, not because someone else told you, you can go back to the Grief Museum and experience a little more culture. There is something to be said for intentionally leaving the Grief Museum for something a little bit lowbrow. A slapstick comedy, a game of kickball, TMZ, a board game, a long bath, or just sit on the sofa and stare at the wall. Just because the museum is ginormous doesn't mean you have to stay there and see the whole damn thing. And let's be honest, like anything, at some point you begin to tune out, glaze over, and walk right past the really important stuff. You need to take some time away. Now here's a side note for you. This does not mean that you should eat, drink, smoke, snort, or shoot your feelings away. That's not a coping mechanism. That's the start to an addiction. Please allow yourself and allow others the opportunity to recognize those behaviors and take the necessary course corrections. All right, that was Grief is Not a Problem. What do you think? Hi, Cheryl, how are you? Do you think that grief is not a problem? Or do you think that grief can be solved? Can your grief be solved? I feel, personally, I don't really feel like I can solve my grief, but I am learning to befriend it and hang out with it from time to time. But I would love to know what you think. So that is the story for today. Let's check out. Sorry, I gotta push some buttons. There we go. Okay, let's check out the stories for tomorrow. So we have 3 options for tomorrow. All you got to do is based on what sounds fun or what you want to hear tomorrow, put an A, B, or C in the comments, and I'll tally them up, and that is what we will read tomorrow. So, A, still think grief is a problem that can be solved? Read, there's no right way to grieve. B, want to know who's got it worse with their grief? Well, my grief can beat up your grief. Read, my grief can beat up your grief. Or 3, let's also talk about the difference between not wanting to be alive versus wanting to be dead. Yes, there's a difference. Read, not wanting to be alive. So those are our choices for today. A, B, and C. A is there is no right way to grieve. B is my grief can beat up your grief. And C is not wanting to be alive. Yeah. So give me an A, B, or C in the comments, and we will go from there. All right. I see a couple C's. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a thinker. I like it. I mean, I really like it, and I wouldn't have written on it if I didn't like it, but it's a thinker. So yeah, A, there's no right way to grieve. B, my grief can beat up your grief. Or C, not wanting to be alive. All really good choices, all really good information. For those of you that haven't gotten the updates or aren't on the update list, head over to sharingsolace.com/book. There you can get all the information about the book, but you can also click the get the first 2 stories big pink button. If you click on that, you'll be able to get the first 2 stories in your email, and I will also send you a reminder every day that we're going live. And even a little bit about what we're doing. I put some special things in there. And I'm starting to get fun things for the birthday party on May 19th. And because I've had to completely revamp what I was planning to do, it's getting unique, but I'm very excited. I have like 2 or 3 packages coming in today of birthday party stuff that I get to send out to you. That I'm like, I want to hurry up and get off here because I think that there are some packages sitting on my front doorstep and I cannot wait to play with them before I, of course, send them on to you. So, yeah, make sure to go to sharingsolace.com/book so that I can send you a reminder every day that we do this. If you're watching the replay, let me know you're watching the replay, and you can still vote through this evening. Before I go to bed, I tally up the votes, I figure it out, and we go from there. And come back tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. We will do this all over again. Right now it's looking like we will be reading their Not Wanting to Be Alive, which is good and important. Because I think that is a very truthful subject when you're grieving a very tragic loss. Yeah, we'll get into it tomorrow. How about that? I could sit here and talk about that all day long. But yes, so we will talk about that tomorrow, assuming that that is where the votes continue to stay. I think that's it. I think that's it for today. This is a good short one, but spend some time in your grief museum and then spend some time outside. It's okay. You don't have to go through the whole grief museum in one fell swoop. Don't feel like you have to. Don't guilt yourself into grieving it. Guilt and grief are 4-letter words in my book. Yeah. So if anybody has any other anything, I'm kind of looking through Cheryl, I'm glad that you stumbled upon this post as well, and I hope that you found it worthwhile. Yeah, I think that's about it for today. So short and sweet. See you tomorrow. We will probably be reading about how not wanting to be alive and wanting to be dead are different, and I promise you they are different. Yeah, sharingsolace.com/book gets you a reminder, gets you the first 2 stories in the book and also a reminder. And sharingsolace.com/birthday gets you the RSVP for the birthday and all the goodies. I can't wait to start showing you some of those. So have a wonderful day. Bye, Sarah. Bye, Cheryl. Bye, Lee. See you soon. See you tomorrow. And until tomorrow, get grateful. See you then. Mwah.